had this thought burning in my mind as I've been looking at these political debates and conversations people are struggling to have with each other. And the thought that I've had is to lead with love. I know that may sound cheesy, but if you really want to actually learn something or help others learn something, I find the only way to really do that is if there's a context, a foundation for the conversation where there's mutual respect. And the only way to build that foundation of mutual respect, I find, is to lead with love. To start with questions like, how can I make this person who thinks differently than I do feel valued and appreciated? As the treasure, not as a means for conversation, but as the end goal, so that they just feel valued. And I've succeeded. As soon as they feel value, I'm done. Like, I can walk away now from the conversation because that was my end goal. Because they are the treasure. And then we can come back and we can now have a conversation where we can actually learn from each other. Truth can transfer across trust because we trust each other. We trust each other because we feel valued and we appreciate each other. I see that this is a solution to political conflict. Conflict over spiritual ideas. Conflict over philosophical ideas about the deep questions of life. We have so much to learn from each other. In the United States, where I'm from, we've got 300 plus million people. We're like a big cantankerous family who cares about many different things, many different values, and we have so much to learn from each other. And not all of us even think of all of us as family, but we have this unity that we're all persons, valuable, and we have a common connection just by virtue of where we live and the kinds of questions and conversations that are animated in this place of living. In this conversation that we have together across Americans can be a model to others. Maybe there's some psychological roots of an idea that we despise, and we hate those psychological roots, and so we shame the people with them. But what if instead we made it our project to make people feel valued? Every person. We just made them feel valued. Do you think that that might have an effect on those psychological roots? I wonder if shame is an effective way to uproot a problematic idea, or if instead showing people genuine appreciation as persons, right? We don't have to appreciate their ideas. We can detest their ideas, but we can appreciate them as people. If you have the disdain towards racism, it's because you already have an awareness and appreciation for the common value that people have. And so we can work together in putting the light on that common value, and this will build the foundation for productive, meaningful conversations. And this is essential for worldview development, because as we can learn from each other, then we can gain more insights relevant to the building of our worldview. But here I want to just say, let's put the building of our worldview aside for a moment. What if we rebuilt the foundation for productive conversation? We would not only have a foundation for building our worldview, but we'd also have a foundation for building all sorts of things together. Our economy would flourish so much more as we build together because we have a common respect for each other. We see each other. I know many of you may think this is just not possible. How can we really know that until we try? You think, well, we have been trying, some of us, but how many of us? How many of us make it their primary aim in a political conversation, in a debate, to make the other person feel valued? How many of us are doing that? I don't see many people doing that. Do you? What if enough people got a hold of this idea and just made it their mission to make people feel valued? Like that was their number one goal. Once value is established, then we can work on trying to figure out who's right about an idea. But what if the more basic thing that we need to do first is to restore respect, restore that sense of mutual value? If enough of us can get a hold of this idea and share it, I'm confident that this would result in cultural transformation. This is like the next stage in our development. In history, you have stages where people can hardly get along without physically fighting each other. We still have that problem, but more of the fighting goes on social media, not with fists and guns, but with the weapons of devaluing each other? What if we recognized that that is an injury and we just said no to that? We just had a higher standard. What kind of transformation would we experience? What kind of role models would we be? What kind of influence would we have? What kind of truth would then be able to transfer and be unlocked? What kind of insights would be seen by everybody if everybody actually saw each other, appreciated each other, valued each other? Who knows what could happen if this idea went viral?